Hello there. Thanks for joining me. It's a Friday afternoon. It's about 5 o'clock my time, Pacific time. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be doing a little paint pouring demo tonight. Um, I think, I might do this on Fridays. I did one last Friday. It was a lot of fun. So I think I might try it every Friday. We'll see what the future holds. But today I'm going to do one. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a direct pour demo. Hey, Becky, thanks for joining me. And if you come, as you come in the comments, I will say hi. So I've mixed up a bunch of paints here. Most of these are leftover paints. And I've got a variety of colors I'll show you. Hey, Zena, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I was just getting them ready and finishing up the final one. I'm just finishing adding a little bit of water to this last one here. And it's looking pretty good. So direct pour. I haven't actually done one of these in a while, but this is a fun technique. I like this technique a lot. It's a bit different than other techniques, and I'll explain that as we go along. It's a little more intuitive. You can kind of play around with your paints a little bit more. What else? Oh, and if you don't like cells, this is a great technique for you. I know a lot of you do not like cells at all, or very minimal cells, and you don't typically get a lot of cells with the direct pour technique. But it's a beautiful technique. It can create some really amazing paintings, I think, anyway. I'll show you one in a second here. So, but let's see what I got. I got a 12 by 16 panel. This is one of my panels that I make. So it's a gallery profile, 1.5 inch birch panel. And I got my little hooks on the bottom, and it's all leveled and ready to go. So that's what I'll be pouring on tonight. And let's see, I've got a bunch of colors. I'll maybe hold them up quickly. I'm going with a very neutralized, muted palette. So there's not a lot of bright colors. They're all more grayed out colors. I happen to love those types of colors. And most of these are leftover paints I had. A couple of them are new that I just mixed up. But I've got a really deep blue, and I'll show you this from the top-down camera also. But so I've got this really dark, kind of a Prussian blue. I've got a couple grays, actually. These are leftover. It's hard to see because they're all leftover paints, but this is kind of more of a cool gray. This is more of a warmer gray in this one. And I'll show you these again in a second. I have a kind of a muted purple. This is kind of a metallic-y purple. There's a lot of different colors in this one. And here's kind of a greenish, grayish, bluish color. It's a very pretty color. This one is one I mixed up. It's a blue, gray, and black. So it's also a very gray, a cool gray. And I have a metallic white right here. And then I have more of a muted gold. I took and mixed gold, like a Liquitex gold, with Amsterdam pewter, which is an amazing color. The pewter is a little cooler, and I wanted something a little punchier, a little stronger, so I mixed them about half and half, pewter and gold. And you get this really beautiful kind of muted gold color. So, hey, Sandra. Hey, Navala. How are you doing? So we've got some people joined, and I've kind of been going through some colors. Here's a direct pour I did a while ago. So I'll show you this one. This is what it can look like. Of course, they're all going to look different. And it depends on your colors and what you're doing and your canvas and that particular painting. This one also happened to be a lot of kind of neutralized colors. So I had a lot of kind of blues and grays and golds in this one. So it probably won't look like this, but again, we don't have many cells happening. You have these kind of cool fields of color, which I like a lot. So this is going to be a very cell-free painting, probably. So I'm going to put this back here. I'll get it out of the way. So I've also got my little paper cups, and I've put a little bit of white in one of them. I put a little of the gold in one of them. I might put another one in here. I like to do that, maybe the dark blue. So put a little bit of the dark blue in there. So I can pour on some thin lines with these cups. These are easier to control, the little cups. So we're going to be doing a bunch of different things. I'm going to put on a base coat first, and then I'm going to start kind of just dumping some colors on here, and then doing a little tilting, and then maybe dumping a little more on. So this is a very kind of free, you can be pretty free and loose with this technique and just play around with it. It's a great technique to just play around with your paints. We will dump a bunch of stuff on, tilt it around, see what it looks like. You can change it and add things, and it's a cool way of doing fluid art. So, okay, so let me flip the camera, and I'll show you the colors one more time, and then we'll get going. So, and again, if you have any questions throughout the painting, go ahead and ask them in the questions, and I will go over and answer them. I'll take some time between throwing paint on the canvas and take a look at the question. So, hey, R. McLovin, how are you? Okay, so let me switch the camera. Okay, so it's getting all blurry, the autofocus. There we go. Let me get rid of the direct pour banner. You don't need that anymore. So this is a direct pour, and there's a lot of ways you can modify this particular technique. So it is very versatile. So let me see. So I'm going to show you the colors one more time. Here is like a grayish blue and black color. I've got about 3 different grays. This is a cool gray. It's a mixture of a bunch of different leftover paints. So there's a lot of silver and white in here. Here is a warmer gray. There's a lot of different things in this one too. I think a lot of silver and white in here. Here is a gold I mixed up. This is the Liquitex Gold and Amsterdam Pewter. So it's like a softer gold. It's not so shiny. It's a really pretty kind of neutralized gold. Here is this is a leftover paint, but this is a blue-green. Or no, I'm sorry. It's a grayish green. This is a Liquitex color, which I love. And here is a purple. This is a mixture of a bunch of different things, but it's this really pretty kind of metallic-y purple. And then we have a metallic white right here, which is, I love that color. And then in the little cups, I've got a little bit of just the white, and I've got some of the gold. And then I forgot this one. We've got a really dark blue. This is the darkest value I've got, this really dark blue. So we've got a few colors in these little cups. And we're just going to start throwing some paint on and see what happens. Let me switch back over here to the comments. Okay, so let me move these, and I'll start putting a base coat down. I think I'm going to put down a gray base coat. So I'm just going to pour some paint on and then spread it out. You know, grab my little handy knife. Try to do this quickly. This is a boring thing you don't want to watch. But yeah, I just like to get a kind of an even base coat on here, especially with a direct pour, because we're pouring paint right on top of it. We want the paints to be able to move around easily and slide around easily. All right, so that looks pretty good to me. And as we tilt, it'll cover the edges and roll over the edges, so I'm not worried about that right now. So, okay, there we go. I'll just keep my palette knife here. And now let's just put some paint on here. I'm going to probably alternate between kind of a lighter color and then maybe go with a dark color. And you can pour these on any way you want. And maybe I'll put a little white in here. So these are kind of big splashes of color. There's some of that purple. And what else do I want to put in right now? You don't have to put in a ton of stuff right away. Let's see, I want a little bit more of this kind of green. And I put some of the purple. I'll put a little gold in. I'm gonna put some gold right in here. I think that would be cool. And a drop there. I meant for that to happen. Let's see, and a little bit right here. Okay. So at this point, I have this warm gray. This looks like it's not quite mixed enough. I'm gonna mix it quick. Okay, there we go. I'm going to use a little bit of this. There we go. Okay, so that's a big mess full of a lot of crazy looking colors and paints. So now what I like to do is go ahead and just tilt this around and see what happens. All this stuff is going to change a lot as we start tilting it. I'm going to start just tilting things off the edges and bringing it back. And Donna asked if I added silicone. No, there's no silicone in any of these paints. So we're not going to get many cells at all. This is going to be a cell-free painting, or mostly. We'll see. You never quite know. But I'm not anticipating any cells. So I'll just bring it back. So there we go. That's something. We've got some colors down. We moved them around. That's really looking abstract. Yeah, the sides, I'm not worried too much about the sides right now because we're going to be adding more paint and tilting more. So the sides will get covered as I do some more tilting. So this is kind of like round one, phase one of our tilt. And we've got some cool, interesting shapes happening. And now let's do something else. So I love this really dark blue running through there. I think that's cool. So let me add another layer. So here's some more of that purple. And you can start off the panel or canvas and then run it all the way across. And I'm going to put some more. I need something dark down here. Now you can kind of plane your composition out a little bit more with something like this. Because we're, kind of adding these things slowly. I put a little more white on. And let's see, I've got this dark gray. Okay. I need some more gold, maybe. Okay, so there is another. And then as far as the sides go, you can also, the other thing you could do, I have a big white spot there on the side. So you could just kind of pour some paint just right down the side. And that'll kind of cover a lot up. So, but we'll tilt again. So let's tilt and you can also kind of be aggressive with your tilting. And that can actually make some really interesting things happen. and really kind of get the paint moving around. All right, so this is looking different now. And interesting. I like some things that are happening. Oop. Tissues just took a dive in the trash. Okay. So with the tilting, now we've got these cool kind of diagonal, directional, compositional lines. I think that's cool. And let's see. So let's add some more stuff. I'm going to get my little cups out and then maybe run some smaller lines. And here's the white, the metallic white. I'm kind of following those same kind of diagonal. Oops, I wanted to extend this off. There we go. And let's put a little bit of, in this one, I want to put a little dark in there. Whoa, that's a lot of dark. And then we've got some gold. I think I want some gold right down here. Okay. So the other thing we could do at this point, maybe I'll try it, is we can add some, I'm just going to add some different layers to our one of these little paper cups. And we can pour a ribbon, a multi-layered or a multicolored ribbon over this and see what happens. So that is something you can kind of do, which is kind of fun. So I'm going to, here's my little layered cup. And where am I going to put it? You never quite know with the ribbon, so we'll just give it a shot. I'm going to put it kind of down zigzaggy here, maybe. Well, that was all gold. So let's try again over here. There's some more color. Okay, oh, we're getting some cells popping up because of the layered cup. So we'll not a totally 100% cell free, but okay, let's tilt again and see what happens. So I'm going to tilt this way. And you can alter your angle. So we've got that band of cells right down the center. That's kind of cool, actually. So I'm going to tilt, just kind of holding it up. I want to move a lot of paint around. And the more you stretch the paint, the more interesting things can kind of start happening. Okay, so that's another round of tilting. And we've got that really interesting band right down the center now. And so some things I like, some things I don't like. I'm not in love with these big white areas right here or the blue ones either. So I'm going to break those up. And we'll pour some little finer gold lines through there. And again, you can just kind of do whatever you want with this type of a painting. And experiment is the name of the game. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to do another little layered cup, because now this is really distracting, and that's totally different than anything else we have anywhere in this painting. So let me add a little more paint to my cup here. Okay. So let's try this. Cool. Okay, this one I like. This one I don't think I like, but we'll tilt and stretch it out and see what happens. The other thing you can do, let's see here. I put these gold lines in there, but now I don't like them. But I'm going to tilt first and we'll see if they change. They will change. So, okay. So let me tilt this around again. I'll tilt this way first. All right, now tilt backwards. And we'll see what we can do. And see if I can change those gold lines, because they look really contrived. So I don't like that. Okay. So we got some interesting things happening. I'll show you in a second. And sometimes you just have to let the paint run for a while. Okay, let me tilt back just a hair. All right, so now what do we have? We've got a big, gigantic field of green, which I am not in love with. I don't like this at all right here. I really love this little corner, and I wish it wasn't in the corner, but that's really cool. And of course, our big ribbony band with all the cells is the most interesting thing happening. But this is also very interesting right here. The way the white and the blue, this piece I like a lot. And let's see. So I'm just thinking about what to do next. And I think I'm going to layer another cup, because this one is still super distracting. There's nothing else like this anywhere else on the painting. So we have to balance it somehow. This is all kind of compositional stuff. So I'm going to layer our cup again. And let's see, I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to pour this from up high. So it's going to, well, I'm not exactly sure what it's going to do, but it should kind of splatter and mix a little bit. Let's see what happens. All right, I wish more of it was down here, but I'll let that, well, let me tilt it. Because once you tilt it and move it around, it changes everything, so. Yeah, that's looking interesting. Okay, I'm going to just tilt this off the edge here. So a lot of this is just, playing around, having fun actually, just experimenting and seeing what the paints do. And just a little bit more. Let's see, do I have any blue? I'm going to just pour, I don't like this right here. So I'm going to have my panel tilted, and I'm just going to pour that off. That's a handy little trick when you want to get rid of something that's close to the edge. Okay, now I'm going to tilt back a little bit. Now I love that's half of the painting now. I'll show you in a second. Okay, so look at what we got now. So our little ribbon made something really cool. Gotta wipe my hands off before I point at it, or else I'll drip all over the place. So I love this whole side now. And that kind of ties into our cells a little bit more. So now we have to do something down here over all this green. I kind of like this over here, this the purple and the gold. This I like in this whole white band. It's just this whole section that I don't like. So let's see if we can fix that. And that might be it. I might call that good for this one. So I'm going to do another layered cup. So I'm just using the same cup. This is the one I've been using the whole time. I just keep adding paints to it. So I'm going to use some of this dark. And I'll put a little of the gold and the purple. And I'm going to leave the white out of that. I don't want any more white. And I don't want the green. We have too much green. Maybe I'll use some of the warm gray. Okay. So, again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pour it from high, from the front backwards. We'll see what happens. So far, it's pretty good. I've got a little bit more in here. I'm going to put another ribbon down that way. All right. So let's tilt this and see what we get. So we have to be careful if we want to save that white area. We might end up losing part of it. Okay. And I always set my panels down. I always turn them and get a better angle. All right, I'm going to probably lose, maybe I can maybe keep the top of that white, but I'll probably lose the bottom. But I want to expand this cup that we just added. Okay, let me see if I can tilt that back. So we did cover the edges because we dumped a lot of paint on our panel. All right, a little bit more and I think we'll be done. Okay, that's it, I think. So that I think I like quite a bit. And let me wipe my hands off. So again, this is a very neutralized, very muted color palette. So we don't have really bright colors, but I really like what's happening. I love these big bands of dark blue. I really like the little white accents, like kind of spread around the different areas. And, you know, I poured that first ribbon and we got all these cells. So that led me to layer the cup and pour to try to generate a little bit more cells just to kind of match what was happening there. And we do have a little bit of lacing here. We have a little bit of cells over here. So I think it all kind of plays together. It all kind of blends together nicely. So I like what's happening. So I'm pretty happy with this one. So hey, JC. Let's see what else. And we did cover our sides, so those are covered. There's quite a bit of paint on here, but I think it should dry just fine. I'm not worried about that too much. And so, you know, again, you never quite know what's going to happen with this type of a pour. But let me move this forward, and then I'll show you what's underneath this. Is a huge puddle of paint. And wow, that's a lot. And I'm wondering if I can actually, let me do this. I'll show you one other thing. I've got some little white areas. I'm just going to kind of fill them in with a little bit of white paint. But I wonder if I have a, let me grab an 8x10 canvas. Let's see. I'll do a dip and just pour some of this on there. And if it doesn't work, I'll just scrape it off and then keep all this paint. So I'll probably just keep a lot of it anyway. Let's see. Let me grab, oh, I got these 8x8s. Just 1 second, I'm going to grab one. Come over here. Oh. Okay. Sorry for all the noise and all right. Okay, so I have a little 8x8 canvas. I just got these a little while ago. So let's try a dip and just see what happens. I have a whole bunch of paint down here. This is always a fun little thing to try. So I'm going to just drop the painting in, move it around a little bit. And if you have a tool, I can't get my tool, but you can just kind of push the paint down with your hands inside. And let's lift it up. And then I like to give it a little sneak peek underneath there, but then I'll flip it over, and then we've got a little dip painting. That's kind of a nice one. So maybe I'll save that. That's kind of a cool little painting. So a nice little dip to go along with our direct pour. So we got some cool cells happening there. I like it. Okay, so let me put that down. And I'll flip the, and we've got a lot of paint. So we could make some more dips if we wanted to. But I'm just going to flip the camera back. I'm going to scrape all this up and then save it. And I'll do something else with it another time. So let me flip the camera back. Here, I'll bring this so we can get one more look at our painting that we did. So I'm quite happy with that, actually. Because you never know if it's going to turn out or not with this type of a technique. So let me flip it back. So that's it. That was a direct pour. I'm pretty happy with it. So we did a bunch of different things with it. We just poured a bunch of colors. We did a lot of tilting, poured some ribbons, did some little line things. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff. I used a bunch of random dark colors. So if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. So thank you very much. Thanks, Dina. Appreciate that. Thanks, Navala. Yeah, let's see. Cool. Thank you. I hope you have a successful painting. Yeah, this is kind of it's a different technique. And of course, this is just one way to do it. This is also, some people call this a puddle pour. One thing you could also do is modify it and if you have a marble, you could put a marble in there and roll the marble around. That's a marble pour. Those are really fun. So this is, I call it a direct pour, but you could also refer to it as a puddle pour, or we even did a ribbon pour. So there were some ribbons in there. But so thank you very much for joining me. If there's no other questions, I'm just going to scroll back through the comments quick to see if there were any questions I missed. Thank you, JC. Hey, Eloisa. And Donna asked one. She asked, do people sometimes put or paint images in these types of paintings? You sure could. I would probably wait until they're dry, as a abstract background, and then you could paint like more realistic images if you wanted to. That's a good question. It'd be very difficult to do that in the wet paint, but sure, you could let it dry and then go back, and I've seen that done very, very nicely. Elise Fournier is a fantastic artist, and she modifies a lot of her pours. She does a very abstract style, but her paintings are amazing. So, and she goes back and paints on them a lot. So they look nothing like the base layer does, but yeah, Elise Fournier is fantastic. Let's see, anyone else? Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, well, if there are no other questions, I want to just thank you for joining me and watching me pour some paint around and get something out of it. I think we turned it into something very cool. So I will see you next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live over the weekend. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. But, thank you, Navala. She likes the painting behind me. You're very welcome, Donna. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend and do some painting. Let me know how it turns out. Post it in the group if you want to. I'd love to take a look and see what you're doing. If you post in the Acrylic Pouring Club, that would be fantastic. So thanks a lot, everyone, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.